In 30 years' time, everyone in this room will be the leaders of the world. No, that's not a prayer point. That is, you are going to be the leaders of the world or the slave of the world. What do I mean? In 30 years' time, if you are 60 right now, which is the departing generation, you'll be 90. If you are 70, you'll be 100. If you are 80, you'll be 110. If you are 90, you'll be 120. If you are in the interregnum generation, that means you are 30 to 59. If you are 30, in 30 years' time, you'll be 60. If you are 40, you'll be 70. If you are 50, like me, you'll be 80. Now, if you are in the takeover generation, if you are 1, you'll be 31. If you are 10 today, you'll be 40. If you are 20 today, you'll be 50. If you are 30 today, you'll be 60. So it makes sense for everybody breathing now. Millennial, Gen Z, baby boomer, everybody living now must work with 30 years. In 30 years, you are all going to become full-blown adults accounting for your life. In 30 years, most of us will be at the departure lounge of life, ready to take the flight, or will have taken the flight. And so you need to calm down and see the next 30 years, but right inside that 30 years, curate a 10 years. Let me tell you this prophetically. Whatever you do or don't do in the next 10 years will determine what you will do and manage for the rest of your life. That is, now don't be fooled that I'm not falling down. I'm not saying thus says the Lord. I'm not speaking in tongues. So you think guys just jiving. You know, I kid you not. What I just told you, that is where people get to where they say, and we begin to speak in tongues, and there's a place for that. But I need to let you know that by the Spirit of the Lord, the fact is, or the truth is, whatever you do or don't do in the next 10 years is going to determine what you will do for the rest of your life. And so this is your decade. And this decade will be characterized by 4 things. Number 1, the fading of powers and voices as we know it. The fading of powers and voices as we know it. Across board, church, outside of church. You check it. Add 30 years to anybody living. In 30 years' time, Donald Trump will be gone. Joe Biden will be gone. Bill Clinton will be gone. Hillary Clinton will be gone. Just add 30 years to everybody. Buhari will be gone. Atiku will be gone. 30 years to everybody. A leadership is going not by bombs or guns, but by the sting of nature in the clock of life. When young people understand that, you don't need answers. You don't need answers. You need to organize around that because nature is fixing the system for you. The question is not whether the leadership will not be there again, it's whether you'll be prepared. And let me tell you something. Stop asking for young people to lead Nigeria or Africa or anywhere. In 1960, when Nigeria got independence, there was not one old man in power. Everybody in power in 1960 were young people. In their 20s, Gowon was 20-something. Awolowo was 30-something. Azikiwe was 30-something. Everybody in power in 1960 were all young. The Nigeria you have today is what young people did to Nigeria. Young people messed up Nigeria, not old people. Not one old person was needed in 1960. They were all young. And so I've seen young fools. I've seen handsome dummies. I've seen very pretty empty minds. I've seen 6 foot tall, broad-chested, 6-pack carrying, empty mind, drifting fools. Trust me, I've seen beautiful weakness before. Right? But guess what? I've seen arrogant foolishness in old men. I've seen very foolish gray hair. So I know we don't need young people. We don't need old people. We need wise people with clarity, young or old. Are you clear? And all over the world, leadership is shifting. Camp around that shift. Prepare. I don't have time to break that down, but the next 10 years is the fading of powers as we know it. The fading of voices as we know it. Then, number 2, the rise of voices and powers as we are yet to know. New fathers, new leaders in the marketplace, new theology in the church, new leaders in the church. I have 11 churches in Nigeria. 11? I have 11 churches in Nigeria that I know will lead this country, the church in Nigeria and society within the next 10 years. I'm not going to list them, but I have 11. By revelation and by study. The fading of voices as we know, the rise of voices and powers as we are yet to know, then the rise of underdogs. Are you here? The rise of underdogs. no-name boys and girls with surnames unknown, with first names unrecorded, rising to a place of power and prominence, taking places in the system, shaping culture, in music, in entertainment, in politics, in business, in enterprise. All of that is beginning to happen. And guess what? It's not going to happen because of your expertise. It will be happening in spite of the expertise you don't have. And people in church, tongue-speaking guys like you and I, are going to rise to that place of prominence. And lastly, the rise of the church. Despite all the shame and embarrassment of 2017 till now, in this decade, we are going to see the rise of the church in ways unimaginable. All of that is happening. All of that is happening right in front of us. So get ready for that. This is the best decade you have ever lived. And this is a generation that the whole world has been waiting for, right? I call them COVID babies. Ideas and human beings born in 2020 and beyond it. And the Lord will bless you and help you in Jesus' name.